In other stories this afternoon, the Danish embassy in Ghana says it is unwavering in its multilateral commitments that provide economic assistance to Ghana. For more than 2 years, the Russian-Ukraine war has been named by the government of Ghana as one of the exogenous shocks causing a downturn in the economy. However, Ghana's major multilateral donor, the European Union, has been accused of ramping up more aid for Ukraine at the expense of developing nations such as Ghana. But reacting to the concerns at a news conference to mark 2 years since the Russia-Ukraine war, Ambassador of Denmark to Ghana, Tom Nørring, says his country will not relent on meeting its international commitments and defending their state against Russian aggression.
We see them because Russian aircraft are reaching Danish airspace every week. I recall your president's announcement in his speech to the United Nations General Assembly last year, where he made these comments, and I'm not going to go into an economic dispute as to what exactly was the reason behind the financial crisis of Ghana. I think there are many components, but I'm quite sure that one of the components has been the Russian attack on Ukraine and the ongoing war between those two countries, and the impact on, not least the impact on foodstuffs that cannot now reach in the same way, amongst others, Ghana. Still, Denmark is still one of a handful of countries, I think it's down to 4 countries right now, that provide 0.7% of our GDP in development aid across the globe. Now that was, still is, the United Nations countries to provide 0.7% of our GDP in development assistance. We are only 4 countries amongst them that still do that. You can say no, not directly to Ghana anymore, but indirectly we do, because half of the Danish assistance is multilateral. That is Danish aid, money that goes to UNICEF, UNFPA, UNDP, and other UN agencies, as well as, for instance, International Red Cross. We also, in addition, are a member of the EU. Denmark belongs to the countries in the EU that are what we call the net contributors to the EU budget. That means we give more money to the EU than we get out of the EU. We're, let's say, a very social union out of 27 countries. Some countries can afford to assist, give more into the union. Others give much less but receive more inside the union. But the union also has its own development aid budget, which of course comes from the total sum of contributions from the EU member states.